All right. Okay. So once again, a very good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well and your Sunday is going good. I'm Natalia Fatima, along with Muhammad Sahil, are your hosts for this evening, and we welcome you all to this interactive session, Learn to Fly, that is First Love Yourself by Mr. Rizwan Ramzan. But before moving forward, I would like to tell you all a bit about our organization, that is UNYC. So the student organization, United Nation Youth Community, under the aegis of Division of Youth Affairs at Lovely Professional University, is a student-led UN club affiliated with United Nations through the UN Academic Impact and UN Foundation Girl campaign. They promote sustainable development goals and other social awareness programs such as women empowerment, gender equality, actions on climate change, and many more. Now, I would like to request my co-host Sahil to take it from here. Over to you, Sahil.
Hello, welcome all. There's a famous African proverb which states that if there is no enemy inside, the enemy outside can do us no harm. We are all human beings, right? We face a lot of problems, mental health issues, a lot, depressions, anxiety, a lot and a lot. And moreover, we students have academic pressure, pressure from parents, a lot, right? And each second we think that what's going to happen in the future, and a lot and a lot. To put an end to all this, UNYZ, along with the founder of Connect3 India and the George Talk speaker, Mr. Rizwan Ramzan, are here with us today. Personally and on the behalf of UNYC, I welcome each and everyone who had joined us today. So, guys, we have one of the great speaker, one of the great-minded guy. As I said, the founder of Connect3 India and the one who is featured on George Talk, and moreover, he has a podcast called The Mallu Show. I here welcome Mr. Rizwan. Thank you so much, sir, for coming here. Thank you so much for accepting our offer. Sir, a few words from you. We are really eager to grasp a lot of knowledge from you.
Thank you so much for such a great, overwhelming introduction. Hi guys, I'm Rizwan. I'm actually coming from Kerala, and I've been creating contents in different forms, and that too, trying to make a difference for people, especially in our own age, like an age group that we usually don't care about, really we don't talk about, that recently got into spotlight, like let's say from 18 to 30 or something, which really needs a lot of help, and we're just trying to do that. And thank you so much for having me over here.
Thank you, sir.
It's such a pleasure to be here, yeah, and I'm really excited to have an introduction with you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rizwan. And now, without further delay and with a lot of virtual claps, let's start with our session. Now, I would like to request our audience to ask some question by unmuting themselves or dropping it down in a chat box. Please come.
Yes, guys, you can unmute yourself. If you have anything, any question, anything you want to say or ask to Mr. Rizwan, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, or you can drop it down in the chat box.
Come, guys, it's your chance. We got one of the great-minded guy in our
So
hands, and
I'd like to ask a question.
Okay. Yes, Ria.
So recently you've been a part of Josh Talk, and how was the experience? Like, what was your journey to reach there? And I know that as a speaker you'll be really overwhelmed. So how was the experience?
uh, okay, it was actually what will I say, such an unexpected one actually. I'm someone who believes in go slow, and recently, like, go slow and take it slow, I believe in that, because that is one great way to actually learn things, and that is, I think, learning things as you go through the process is very important. About how I reached there, I started creating content last year in January, and before that, I was actually not a creator. I was a photographer by passion. I used to take photographs, click pictures only in black and white, because I loved how details can be popped, and I was just enjoying that thing. And then I was someone who actually struggled a lot with different types of mental health issues for a while, for almost 5 to 6 years. And in 2020, my therapist advised me to actually take a break from social media, because I was investing a lot of time, like nearly 10 to 15 hours a day, literally, on different platforms. So I took a break, and it was initially, the plan was for 15 days. That went on to be a 6-month long break. And that 6 months, actually got an opportunity to learn different aspects of people. Basically, like I started to know and understand people around me, especially, for example, one, myself, and another thing is like my parents. Even the closest ones were really far away from me before that, I would say. But I got an opportunity to reflect on them, to understand them, and that is when I realized that it is very important to actually help them in any way of somehow that I can. And that is when this is some crazy story that I've shared before, that as well. I was sitting in a cafe, after all the struggle that I've been through. I finished my therapies and all that, and I was just coming back to normal, and I wanted to start something since long time, but the only thing that I was facing as a problem was I get this varied interest and I start a lot of things, but I quit. I was such a big quitter. So I wanted to not quit something. So I started, I wanted to do something like that. And one fine day, I was sitting in a cafe with friends. Only four of us were there in a cafe. Two kids came to the cafe, and suddenly they just came to us, and they asked me, like, two students with kids were there, and they asked me, "Hey, are you a YouTuber?" I was like, no, I'm not a YouTuber. But they were like, okay, hey, we have YouTube channels and all that. And they were like so proud to show me, like, they have this 100 subscribers and all that, right? And that was such, like, they just smiled and left, but that hit me really hard. So I thought, I decided, okay, I want to create something. I want to be a content creator. And I started creating content. And but I was so insecure about how it will be. And being such a perfectionist, I had a lot of reasons, excuses to not do it. And I decided, okay, I'll not show a face. Maybe 2020 was such a year for me. Overall, I had a lot of struggles, but a lot of finding myself was there, and losing myself was there. So I just decided to create a small snippet of how 2022 was. I just posted a video, and that got us such an overwhelming reception from people. I thought, okay, maybe I can do this. I'll try this thing. So I decided to go on with creating content. Then I thought about what I'll create. Then I understood, okay, when I was going through that tough phase, I wanted to maybe say people, okay, hey, you're going through a rough phase, you need a help from this so and so person. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll do that. So I started creating that. 1.5 years, for 1 year it was just me pushing me forward. There were no audience, nothing was there. And then down the line, last year, I decided to start a podcast, and that it was very unexpected. I went as a guest presenter at a place, and I met a person. I never met this person before, and he told me he was a podcaster. I never knew that podcasters were there in Malayalam. And that was like, okay, hey, maybe I want to start a podcast as well. And being a jump first, think second guy, I started a podcast, and that went on to get good reception, and it invited audience from different aspects, and that got traction. And one fine day, that is like, I like, it's something we say about this connections, and I truly believe in manifestations. And I had this connection that somehow, somewhere down the line, I met this person. uh, you know Somehow got, like, like, wanted me to be there in Josh Talk. And I was like, tomorrow, it was like the Josh Talk was going to happen tomorrow, if I'm saying. And today in the evening, I'm getting a call, hey, just this is final, like the last moment, I know, but there is this one spot that I wanted you to be in, will you be interested, and all that. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just give a try. Then I booked tickets. I just went there. I was not prepared. I just went there, and I was told, okay, just talk what you want to talk. And I happened to have a reason, or wanted a stage to actually say a sorry to a long friend that is not there anymore. So I just took that opportunity to just go along and say sorry to that person. So after that, it was such a, an unexpected thing, but it was such a, beautiful moment to happen, to be there. And somehow that happened, and that was something that, yeah, some unexpectedly happened, because as I said, it was fast paced, things happened, a lot happened quick, like in the last 2 months, and this was one among that. It was good, it was really good. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir. And we think your journey has been amazing. And I can see like the people in the chat box, they say that they have watched your podcast and it is really amazing. And it's great. But so before moving forward to our next questions and the audience question, I would like you to say something about our today's session. Like the topics which we are broadly covering over here: mental health, time management, stress, and the confusion in youth. So we would love to hear something more about these topics and your opinion, your advice here.
Yeah, okay. I am a student, or I used to. I love myself a learning enthusiast, and what thing that I've found, there is a lot of things that we don't cover in our day-to-day curriculum that we have in India, or the education system that we cover. Especially one thing, in the last 2 years, we have been struggling a lot, especially as students after COVID, to balance a lot of things, especially being at home. We're not used to that. And that has also impacted a lot in our day-to-day activities and productivity and the learning style and everything. Everything went digital all of a sudden. We just we were in like 5 or 10 years ahead all at once. The next day we woke up, so that was an overwhelming thing. And because of that, again, one thing that I've recently, when I did the study, I've observed that, 43% of Indians were actually going into having slight, medium, or severe depression. And out of that, again, the most like the biggest demography or the age group that we had was 18 to 35 as well. So when you think of that, mostly it is because of, we are raised with this lot of pressure to achieve this at particular age, and like get a degree, get a job, like marry someone, and all of that at particular so and so age. And that too, because of COVID, those things have slowed down. And most of us, when we think, we had a lot of plans, and suddenly we were behind the line. And I know that most of us even are facing issues right now, thinking, okay, my degree is not, then my scores are not good, I'm not getting a job, internship is not, and this, that, management, I'm not motivated, what is going through, and all of that. So thinking of that, there is a lot of awareness. Basically, I'm not seeing a change, or just an awareness, or just telling, okay, hey, this is happening, a chance to give people to reflect on how the life, like how our life is going, is very necessary. And thinking of today's topic, it's mostly about, you said, like mental health issue, like perspective, or like time management, productivity, and all of that. So there is very huge gap between understanding what exactly is happening and slowing things down. And for that, I think this initiative, what you guys have taken, it's a good, small, maybe I'll say it's a small step to making such a big difference, because it's just the small steps that actually make a big difference, right? So I think this is one of those steps that I feel that you guys have been doing. And again, thinking of how huge is your, like, the exact, like, entirely this lovely professional universities and the number of students you have, and the impact that you can create in the coming next, at least the coming generations to come. I'm not that old to say, but in our generation and the coming generations to come, it should start from the age that it really matters. And I think it's the college days, and the young age, that actually creates a lot of momentum to make a difference, to follow your passions, to get a great job, to lead a family, to make a difference in the world and make a difference. So I think this is such a good start for everyone who's being a part, or acting as a part of this. And kudos to that as well. Great job.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. I just want to ask one question. Sometimes we feel that it's so difficult to open up our mind, telling to our parents or to our friends. We feel that's not safe or some kind of problems. So in that case, what's your tip? What's your advice on that? What should we do to help in that case?
Okay, so that has a lot to do with how we have been raised in our house, right? I've seen parents who are like very close to their children. They're like, they don't even feel like their parents. They're like very good friends. They talk about everything in and out. They talk about relationships, failures, fights at college, schools, and everything. And there are, on the other side, like, there are parents who don't really talk about things as well. Or even, let's take away the parents, there are guardians in the same way as well, right? There are like different spectrum on that. And when we think of that, most of the time we feel, we have been like, and that is one aspect, that is parenting. There is another aspect, that is the environment we live or we grow up is also teaching us to act strong. Even as a girl or a boy, you are told, okay, don't cry, don't talk, don't ask for help, do it yourself, finish your plate, eat it full, right? So everything that start from the smallest age itself, that impact us a lot. And that is like the social conditioning that we grow up, that is one of the main reason for us not opening up whenever we need help. We kind of make it, even when we think of people who are less fortunate, they ask for help, we think, okay, hey, that's a bad thing, right? But there are multiple, again, different aspect, different perspectives of everything. So when I think of that, we have been conditioned to believe that asking for help whenever necessary, crying when it is not good, or just sleeping, just taking a day off, taking a break, all of this is a bad thing. And all of this considering together, there is a lot of understanding thing to, like, first of all, to believe that, okay, asking for help is a normal thing, or just reaching out to someone, maybe like, asking if maybe they could help, or they could do something also on, or just at least listen, like keep the helping part aside, if they could listen to us, is such not a normal thing. And for that, the first thing we need to do is basically to understand that asking for help is a normal thing. That is, we expect our friends to come to us and ask for help when they need something from us, or they need some help, or if they're having a bad day, right? But when something happened to us, that is when we think, okay, maybe I should keep it with myself, or like I should act strong. I've been a victim of that. Okay, I'll say the victim of that, because for 5 6 years, I've just tried to be that strong guy who was someone brought up by my parents, to to not cry on something. But it took me 5 to 6 years of struggle to understand I need help. And when I got that help, I realized, okay, uh, how beautifully or how easily I could live, and just enjoy whatever is happening. The first thing is that we have to understand asking help is normal. Like, it is in the nature, like everywhere it is there, that you can see. We all love pets, right? A cat or a dog or whatever it is, when they are hungry, they come to us, they ask for food. Similarly, when we are toddlers, when we are babies, we cry to get some milk. It's there, right? It's there in the nature. And but when we grow up, conditioning changes, changes in such a way that we are made to believe that it's a bad thing, right? Asking for something is a bad thing. So first step is to understand it is normal to ask for help. And the second thing is to make sure that, again, we can't control what others would react to a particular situation, or how others would will help us or not. But it is only in our hand that what we can do is we can control what we want to say, right? We need just to, like, we need someone to just to listen to us. So for that, you can just say, okay, it's very important to communicate what we feel, emotions and everything. For that part, you have to open up. And most of the time, what I've observed is that even if whatever the situation is, however progressive our parents or our guardians or friends are, whenever you open up about the feelings, there is an extent to which they will be ready to accept it, or the next thing is they will try to help you, right? So both are actually wrong, or I would say, until and unless we are qualified enough to actually handle the situation or help a person, it should be just redirecting or maybe listening to the thing. I was talking to this expert in relationships on marriage, and she told me that, most of the time when she want her husband to listen to her, she tried to solve the problem, but all she need is just to listen to that person. And I think most of you would also relate to it if you are in a relationship or something, right? You want your boyfriend or your girlfriend to just listen to you, but they try to just fix things up, and that becomes even worse than that. So that is the thing, right? It's just a part of communication that you want to do, and you need to understand that it's completely normal, and you have to do it no matter what it is. You don't know from where the help comes, but ultimately you have to ask for help.
Okay, okay, sir. So be great parents, okay, be good husbands and wife, my dear friends. Okay, let's start our sessions. Can you please talk about mental health issues and the time management? We are really waiting for that.
Okay. So as I said, just to add up on that, as you said, don't be a great parent, don't be a great husband, don't be a great boyfriend, just be a good listener to everyone. Okay, automatically you will be those. Okay, I believe in that. I don't know, like, because when you try to be those good at those things, we automatically become bad at those things, because we are all like, there is a lot of imperfection in all of us, there are a lot of flaws, but when we try to listen to us and them, it automatically becomes a lot easier for us to be whatever that, be good at that, right? That is
Sure.
one thing. And apart from that, like, talking about the mental health issues and the time management, if I were to talk about, if we were to talk about mental health issues, it might be a topic that is so huge that we may not be able to cover entirely. But the thing is, we always talk about happiness, we always talk about having a good day and being positive, being motivated, and all of that. And on the other spectrum, we have this productivity as well, right? So we have been again conditioned to actually believe that happiness, or like, being good or having a good day is all about being happy, or always about like smiling, and we're just in a good mood, Josh is good, this and all that. But having in a good mental health or a mental state is combined, is like, it's a collective approach of multiple things, right? Or having, like, how, if you ask me how to have a good mental health, there are multiple dimensions of it, and that there comes physical health, there comes your spiritual health, there comes your social health, there comes your even mental health. All of that ultimately together, what creates a good state of mind and health in general. So if you want to be in good mental health, or if you want to be feeling good mentally, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're always just ready to go. It's nothing like that, right? So it's just that if you are able to function properly, think properly, behave properly, engage with people, or live normally, that or just push, or just live in a way that you want to live, you can say that you are in a good state, right? And that again depends on people, it depends on individuals, it's very subjective as well, right? So there are multiple dimensions of that which we totally just keep aside. That is, we only think, even right now there is a lot of misinformation that has been spread out, thinking like, whenever we just go out and see any of the platforms over internet or anywhere, we feel that we are all victims of this, like we are all facing some issues, we are all having some issues. It is true that none of our bodies, like, it's completely perfect, right? Somehow or the other, our body will be having temperature, and similarly that is the case with any of the aspects, right? So it's just very normal. But we are only right now focusing on, when we take the mental health, it's just the mental health that we focus on, but we are not understanding the fact that it is related to multiple other aspects of health as well. As I said, physical health, your emotional health, your social health, and all of that. So it's a total big umbrella that comes, and mental health is a small part of that. And how to improve that, you have to work on the other things as well, like your physical health, your social well-being, how you interact with yourself, even your grooming, your food, your sleep. All of that is really very important. And I recently read a book. It's called I Know What to Do, So Why Don't I Do It? Okay, it's by, yeah, Nick Hall. And in that, everything is discussed, okay, like immunity, positivity, and motivation, all of that. And surprisingly, every chapter is related to one single thing, that is sleep. Okay, why are you not motivated? You're, it's related to sleep. Immunity, sleep. Positivity, sleep. Everything is sleep. And that is such an underrated thing as well. And when you think of that, if you were able to, like, I think this is also one measure that I've recently started to use to measure my own state of being mentally healthy, how well I am able to sleep, right? If I'm able to sleep well, then I will say, okay, I'm mentally very healthy right now. Some days are not good, sleep might be affected, that is another different thing as well, right? So there are multiple dimensions, and we need to work on all of these things. And the first and the foremost thing is to be aware of how we are as a person, to understand our emotions, feelings, day-to-day life, and everything. And when you think and you just get into all this, you feel like, okay, you have to be like a programmed robot, right? Like, you have to plan these things, that 10 9 to 10 you do this, that workout and all of that. No, nothing like that. It's just it's not even going with the flow, or it's not even programmed, right? So you need to find a balance and clarity between what is happening and what is that you want to be, and all that, right? So that is the first step. about the mental health. I'm not going to talk about the different like issues about that, because that's such a huge different thing. I'm not qualified to talk about that as well. I'm not a mental health professional, right? So that is another thing. So the first thing is, just start taking care of your body. Your body is a reflection of your mind, or your mind is a reflection of your body as well, right? So it works in together, right? So start taking care of your body. Start, and that includes everything: manicure, pedicure, grooming, eating, sleep, everything, right? Start taking care of your body. And once you start taking care of your body, automatically that feels like, okay, okay, I feel good, physically. That ultimately will help you be a better person when you interact with people, right? That will increase your confidence, that will help you engage with people in a better way, and that ultimately improves your emotional and social well-being as well. That's other different spectrum. And on the other hand, all of this collectively come together to help you have a good mental health as well. And apart from that, when it comes to time management, I'll just keep like the mental health part on that side, and I'll just move on to the time management. Coming to the time management, again, this is again, there are multiple different ways of how everyone approach this thing, and for everything might not work for everyone as well. Okay, so but the thing is, it completely depends on every individual. Okay, so when we say time management, first thing that comes to our mind is like having a morning routine, having a night routine, or like following a particular routine, time blocking things, or like some apps that we help to follow and all that. So it is, I would say, yes, it is about building a system, but that system should not be something that is kind of restricting you from living a good life, right? And here again, when you say managing the time, that shouldn't be about programming your life, or it shouldn't be about programming your day-to-day life. Okay, it should only be about, I would say, handling time wisely, right? So there is one very simple thing. Initially, I used to like have this calendars for everything, right? I'll just use the Google Calendar and just block, I'm going to do this and everything. So every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I used to get this notification on phone. Okay, have in 10 minutes you have to do this, you have 10, 15 minutes you have to do this. I was kind of like a robot, right? Someone was controlling me with time, alarms and notifications. But later on, I realized the fact that, okay, hey, I don't want to be that productive, right? I'm fine with getting things done, and if I have free time, okay, I'll enjoy that. But we are made to believe in the fact that we have 24 hours. If you take our, let's say, 5 hours or 6 hours of sleep, or like let's say 8 hours of sleep, the rest 16 hours you have to make and do something out of that. But that's not a good practice in the long run as well, right? So time management, if you ask me, as a student right now, what you only have to do is, what things you need to do in life, right? So you may have to do assignments, you may have to do like maybe attend lectures, go to college, maybe play in the evening, like meet friends, go for a coffee, maybe a movie and something like that. You already know, right? Most of your day is already planned, right? There is no uncertainty most of the time. Most of the things is already been informed to you prior, right? So the best practice as a student, that I think I have followed as well, or which I've been again telling a lot of friends of mine, uh, especially as a student, is basically, if you know what is going to happen or what you want to do, make a schedule, right? Make your own schedule of things to do. And here it necessarily doesn't mean that, okay, 10 to 15, that so and so you need to do. No, not like that. Whatever is the important task you need to do, that you have prioritize that, right? So lectures are important, homeworks, assignments, projects, seminars, webinars, presentations, exams, all of this, you already have a schedule. Bring them onto your schedule, right? Be aware of what is there to be done and put them onto your schedule. Rest of the time, do whatever you want, right? Don't, as a student, try to just restrict yourself from enjoying your college life, or just being in the room all the time. And I'm just completely against that. The thing is, I'm a person who always believes in, or I've also, something that I've happened to done rightly in college was also to be outside my classrooms than inside the classrooms. So try to, if you have, if because we all are certain about the things that is going to happen in college, bring them onto your schedule and bring all the tasks that you need to do in the class, and then make like just what you can do in the first part of the day. For example, the things that is related to you, your health, right, your fitness, and maybe your reading, writing, your hobbies, your passions, and all that, do it in the first part of the day. And here again, you don't have to wake up at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock. No, if you are a person who wake up normally at 10 o'clock, waking up at 9 o'clock will give you one extra hour. You can work on things that you need to work on if you want to be more productive. That is enough, right? And if you're a night owl, that necessarily doesn't mean you have to change your routine to be a morning person. No, just whatever works for you, just bring that onto your schedule and just focus on getting things done, right? If you can do something today, do that. Okay, this is the best way of managing time that I've experienced. That is, if there are 10 things to do and you know what is to come and all that, if you can get some of that done, you can actually multiply time. That is, if you can get those things done, you still have time for some other things, or maybe do nothing in some other day that is yet to come, right? So just focus on getting things done, just plan it out and make a schedule for yourself. Have, just very old school things like maybe a diary or a pen or a pencil, or tools like you have notes, you have Google calendars and all of that if you want to make it digital, or you can use like Notion or like Evernotes, whatever the tool that you want to use. Just have your own schedule, right? Have your own understanding of where you're spending your time. I'm using the word spending the time, right? So it is just completely up to you. And have a lot of free time with yourself, enjoy within yourself at, at this particular time, spend on whatever that you want to do. But just whatever the things that you need to get things done, bring it onto the schedule and get it done, and do it at what time that is comfortable for you. Okay. And don't, like, this is I don't know how much ever you will get it from this, but uh, college, when you are at college, you will feel like you want this to be over. But that is, once that is done, you would wish, even like, even if you love college or hate college, your
So
friends,
true.
whatever it is, there will be a time where you wish you were a student. You had that feeling of being at college, sitting in those benches, talking in those breaks, and bunking classes and all of that. That will never happen once you're done with college. And when you're in college, just focus on getting things done. Be wise enough, be smart enough to get things done, and not like, for work on everything, just experiment on everything. Use your spare time, or create a lot of spare time to just work on yourself and your hobbies and your dreams. Just that's it. That's the best way in college to manage time. Don't focus on programming life, just enjoy the life at this particular point of time.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. And guys, so just live your life. That was her saying. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so thanks so much, sir. So, as our today's session also cover like self improvement, self growth, and connection in today's youth. So, we would also like you to brief upon these topics as well.
Self improvement.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, as I mentioned, in college, I'll say I'm a computer science engineer. Okay. And from third sem, when I reached, the first year was really good. Okay, first year it was like all common. I'm learning like physics, chemistry, and all that. This is like something I'm already knowing. I'm thinking, okay, hey, maybe I should do another course as a supplementary thing, right? I was thinking like that. Once I hit third semester, I realized the fact that this is not I wanted. And I know many of you would also might have thought, okay, hey, this is tough. This is going over my head, but you're trying to manage and all that. And when you think of developing yourself, we always think of career, finances, and relationships and all of that, right? And most of the time when we think of self development, it is only about getting ahead in life, and just creating that dream life, right? But there are, to do that, again, I say, like as I said before, the small steps that make a small difference, like a huge difference. It's a multiple lot of small steps that create a huge difference, right? So when you think of self development, we are naturally doing it. Okay, every day we're naturally doing it. Okay, for example, eating food is a part of developing yourself, right? Sleeping is a part of developing yourself. Cutting nails is a part of developing yourself. Talking to someone, for like talking to a friend, having a quality time, that these are all part of self development. Okay, so when we think of when we think of self growth, self help, self improvement, and all of that, we are setting ourselves this certain standard of or an illusion of this is how it should be, or okay, this is what self growth is, this is what self development is. No, it is just a way of life. Okay, like developing ourselves, we are all trying to get ahead in life. That is self development, right? So instead of like not instead, along with whatever we are doing, okay, one thing I would want, or I would just request everyone over here in this beautiful age, or like this beautiful period of our life we are, is to learn people, right? So why is that? Because when you learn people, you can understand a lot about yourself, right? Because we see, we always try to see us, okay, like we have this visionary us that we want to be, right? We always try to see us in others, right? We always try to find, even like we all talk about the soulmates, whatever it is, we always try to find ourselves or our better half, we say, in others, right? And when we try to do that, it's always, when you try to learn people, we see a lot of reflection in a lot of different ways. There are so many things that we could adopt, or just try to, we can inspire from a lot of others, right? It could be communication, it could be like the way they handle people, they talk with people, their accent, their way of like walk, their posture, their dressing, whatever it is. Just observe people and learn from that, right? And when you learn people, what happens is automatically you try to, you also elevate yourself in a way that you actually become a better person automatically, right? The way you communicate with people, you understand, you the way you think changes. Like you don't know what people are going through, you start thinking a lot in the other person's shoe, and that ultimately make you a better person, whether it is the communication, whether it is serving people, whether it is creating jobs, whether it is your parents relationship, whatever it is. You start thinking in the other's perspective as well, instead of just thinking from your perspective. And that ultimately is the biggest self improvement hack, or biggest way of improving yourself for me, right? It is basically understanding people. And another thing is, we we need we need to force ourselves to improve our health in general. And that ultimately, um, I don't know, like it's not about shaming, like body shaming, or like uh, talking about the bodies or minds or nothing like that. Having like whatever your, like however your body looks, or whatever it is, that is completely fine. Okay, that is very very okay, whatever you're being it. Like I've been an obese kid all my childhood. Okay, but I was not feeling good, okay, as being that. But like in the sense, I wanted to change. Okay, there were a lot of limitations for me. Okay, but when I changed that like once I started working on myself, automatically reflects how we feel about ourselves as well. Okay, so for that, it necessarily doesn't need to be even to reduce the weights. Okay, now like I used to also be like a person who used to measure the food I used to eat. I was that conscious, thinking, okay, maybe someone will judge me because of the way how my tummy is, or how my like cheeks were and all that. Okay, then I was so self obsessed with that. But later on I realized the fact that it's not about that. It's only about how I feel. And instead of going to reduce weights, to cut down weights into, so and go on and on and on and on, at one phase I felt pathetic about that. I felt very bad about that. Then I realized, okay, maybe I need to eat whatever I want to eat. I need to, drink whatever I want to drink. I need to feel or look. I don't really care about the way I look, but I want to feel good. And for that, you know, uh, the working out, or like being in a physical activity, is not only about looking good. It's also about creating, biochemicals, or like hormones, or secretions that ultimately make us feel good internally, right? So we talk about this lot of different happy hormones and all that when we go scientifically. So it is for that purpose also. So as I said, being good in a good mental state, it's not just a fact of reading books, or meditating or something like that. It's an entire domain that we need to cover. And that physical fitness, or moving, basically just moving and creating distractions, is also one very important thing to have. So these are the things. Just learn people and focus on improving yourself. That's it. And just live your better life. Just try to do things what make you happy, and automatically you will develop yourself.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you for that. So I just go to know a survey that it states that when we use Instagram, social media, our brain releases the same kind of dopamine, yeah, when we used to gamble or consume alcohol. So what's your view on, because nowadays our whole generation is so addicted to Instagram, Facebook. So what's your view on these use?
Okay. Yeah. There is this two aspects of it. I look at it in two ways. Sorry. One is spending too much time on anything, if that is not good for you, is a bad thing. It's harmful for you, right? When I think of myself, I spend even today, like even like every day, right now recently, because most of my life kind of revolves around Instagram and different social media apps, because I'm being a creator, trying to be a creator full time. So there, it for me, spending time on Instagram or WhatsApp or something is not a bad thing. Okay, when I look at it, because it's helping me connect with people, interact with them, build connections, or most of the things that happens over there, right? But on the other hand, again, Sundays are my days like where I just don't use my phones and all that. I just take a lot of time off. But there again, there comes a tendency, okay, maybe I'll just scroll once and I'll just sit there and binge most of the things, right? So there are two aspects of it. One, even if you're using it, that is being productive for you, being effective for you, right? It's good for you. And on the other hand, if you're just spending time too much and there is nothing in return that is for you, that is a bad thing. Okay, and this addiction, you know there is this one strong scientific thing about whatever we do, that is, one thing we do, it affects everything else we do. Okay, if you are consistent, let's say, with reading one page a day, okay, reading a book, okay,
Okay.
that consistency will be there in everything you do. Your mindset will be depending on that. Okay, if you are someone, whatever you take, like whatever the habits or qualities you take, if it's there, yeah, it's like a chain reaction, exactly as in the chat. Whatever you do, one thing, it reflects everywhere around, right? So similarly, if you are spending too much time, okay, on social media, it's this dopamine after dopamine after dopamine that you need, and your brain is automatically programmed for that, or getting programmed for that. You need that, right? We crave for coffee in the morning, or we crave for like tea in the morning to kickstart our day. But once you start to take off the coffee from your life, you feel like, okay, hey, something is missing, I'm not feeling good enough, right? So similarly, when you get so addicted, addicted or too much into this, okay, and that is not even a good use for you, what happens is your brain automatically is always trying to, if you're someone who's using like 3 4 5 hours of dopamine, someday, suppose if you couldn't, that ultimately will start affect you badly, right? That will give you, like, you want this constant thing to happen, that will reduce your, because of this again, we want short, like we won't be able to concentrate on things, because we are always in search of more and more hits, short spurts of this, right? We are much more focused on right now. If you think of us, we are more okay, or we want to consume more reels on Instagram than videos on YouTube. That is because the attention span has reduced a lot, right? We want, like, one reel, the next reel, the next reel, or the next TikTok,
Yeah, yeah, it's
right?
come like
It
that.
just go on and on, right? That is like one thing affecting the other thing, right? And just think of that again, once you start writing things down, maybe a homework or something, right? It might be difficult for you to sit for a long time, to focus for a long time, or to be in a class
But
for
it's
45
okay.
minutes. It's quite very difficult, right? But that is the thing when it comes to, social media, or having certain addictions. Even I would say, reading a book, if it becomes an addiction, that is a problem. Okay, working out, if it becomes an addiction, that is a problem. Eating healthy, whatever it is, anything in extreme is a problem. Okay, anything in moderation, that is not a problem. That is similarly my take on social media is also that if it is helping you in any other way, go for it. Okay, like I would say that internet is the biggest, or is the biggest invention that ever happened, and it is changing it has changed billions of people's life, and it has this insane capability to change again billions of people's life as well. But that shouldn't be an addiction, right? We I think I don't know what is the English proverb in that. Whatever is in existence, even if it's a medicine, that is a problem, right?
Yeah, in
As
Malayalam there
simple
is
as
a proverb like that, right?
yeah,
Amrita Amidama. But
Yeah, exactly. Adhigamayal Amridam Visham. Yeah,
yeah,
as simple as that. So use social media, no problem with that. Use it for your good. You can make a lot of good use of that. Make connections, meet new people, make friendships, uh, learn from good minds, or go behind the knowledge. All of that is possible, but again, that shouldn't be an addiction or an extreme. Just keep it in control with you. Take breaks often. Maybe every day have a tech free hour, or like maybe before going to bed, just keep aside the things. Go, complete. Maybe go for a detox here often. It's like a good thing. Once you go on detox, you feel really great, and you feel like, okay, I can even enjoy myself doing, like, just not doing anything, or like not going through like a reel or something. Can just be myself. That is when you ultimately start to feel like, once you slow down things, only you understand how much is there to actually observe around you, right? So this is simple as that. Just slow things down and just have control over anything. Just don't let anything control you.
okay, sir. Okay, okay. Thank you. So there's something that I just nearly heard a quote that says that I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. We are in this era. We are really concerned about what others gonna think, what's others are thinking about me. So how to stop this? How to live your life each second?
Okay, that's such a difficult question to answer, but it has only a simple answer. Okay, just don't care what people think of you. Okay, but that is, yeah, for me it is very easy to say that, right? And I'm also like, I think every animal is seeking for validation. All of us love compliments. All of us love to be told, hey, you look good, or you, this is an amazing job, and all that, right? So all of us are like that, right? Everything, every organism, every animal, it's like, not every organism, every animal is seeking for validation, right? But the thing is, we when we say validation is one aspect, but the other aspect is, most of the time we have this mental perception of what the other person will think of us if we do something like this. But what I've observed is that, I'll tell you again, one big part of how I started creating content is because of the job I did. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a computer science engineer. I graduated, but I went on to be a biology tutor.
Okay, okay,
Okay. There, I loved talking with people. I loved teaching. That was the only thing. But I didn't know that I should be teaching kids online and my video will be on. I was not aware of that. Okay. And but I had a lot of insecurities back then, because right now you can see I'm smiling a lot. I used to never smile. Okay, because I had a
okay,
huge gap in between, in front of my teeth, in front of this, the two teeth incisors, and that was so huge it could fit one teeth itself. Okay. So, but every time I smile, I used to think, okay, how will this person be looking at me? Whether I'm looking good.
yeah,
I was just, or like, just close my lips and smile all the time. Okay. And once I start to teach kids, right, and it became a profession to teach kids, and every day I have to take like 10, like 8 to 10, 15 sessions to 10, 15 students worldwide, right? So what initially happened is, like, my video is on, but the student's video is not on initially, right? But it is just me looking at it. I'll be having this mental clues of, okay, what will be this kid talking about me, thinking about me, and all that. But never once did anyone commented on that, or told me about that, or inquire about that. That ultimately opened a perception into my mind, or made me believe that, okay, hey, it's okay. Nobody's going to care on that, or nobody's caring about me. They're only worried about what is happening in their life. They only want to clear their doubts. They only want to learn for themselves. It's not me that is a priority for them. For I am the only priority for myself, right? Then again, it was an experimentation. Okay, initially I told, I was so worried about creating my first video, what others will think. So I went on to do a faceless video. That was good.
okay,
Then I tried one video, like, with my face on, right? And that had a huge reception. Okay, people are like appreciating, telling me, okay, this, that, and all that. I was thinking, okay, nobody cared, like nobody even mentioned about that. Okay, only my close friends told me that. When I asked about it, they started telling me, okay, hey, that's not such a like a boring thing. It's okay. It's not something that is being, just popping out there. So that ultimately went on to make me, like, like, help me have an understanding. It is just you who you are worried about, what is this thing, and only if you do that thing, you'll understand it's not right, right? Only time can make you know you're right or wrong, right? Isn't it? So just simple as, if you want, if you're scared of something, if you're fearful of something, whether it is about you or what people think of you, the only way to understand if it's true or not is to just try that out. And I've been doing that since then. Just I'm just, every time is, if there is something that is scaring me out, I just go and do it. And every time it just like it just surprised me the fact that whatever I expect as a reaction, that doesn't happen. Okay, I spoke about sexual health. I spoke about like this menstruation, sex, porn, and all of that in one episode, like of the podcast. I was expecting this huge backlash from my parents, my relatives, and all that. Like, hey, how you could do it? Being like from coming from a typical Orthodox Indian family, especially South Indian family, but none of that happened. I was waiting for it. I was like, I had this a lot of replies that I want to give. If this question comes, I'm going to answer this way. I had prepared all this mentally, but none of that happened. Okay, every time if there is something that I talk sensitive or something, I expect something negatively, but none of that happened. Every time I just, I'm not, uh, like, every time I try to be funny or something, just get out of the normal, I expect, okay, maybe people ask about that, but doesn't happen. It is only in me, in my mind, that every time there is this perception, okay, this is going to happen, that is going to happen, all of that, but none of that happened. That is when I realized the fact that it is just you who really care about you. Others are having something to talk and to live and to go on and look after their life, just as how we are worried of what other people think of us, they're also worried of what others think of themselves as well. So it's just the reciprocation. So even if you do something and something happened, something wrong happened, nobody will remember that, because you're not their priority. Ultimately, you're only your priority. It just happened. Maybe, even in college you do something wrong, some weird something you do, it'll be fun for some time. Maybe people will tease you, mock you for then, but later on it becomes an experience, a memory that you will cherish forever. Every time you think of college, that'll come to your mind. Okay, hey, remember this? Like Shahil did this, then it was so funny. It'll become a story for you to connect on, right? So it is just a simple thing basically, but it takes a lot of effort to ultimately get into that mindset of, okay, I'll try, right? It's just simple as that. But that is the only like the only way. And once you start doing that, life ultimately becomes a lot easier. It becomes a lot fuller and wholesome, and you feel more more achieved, and you feel more good about yourself ultimately. So it's just simple. Don't listen to what people are saying. If you want to do something, just go ahead and do it. Only if you do it, you will know whether it is a good thing or a bad thing. If it turns out to be good, that is well and good. If it turns out to be bad, that's an experience to learn from, right? And this is one thing most of us even scare. I think many of us will be having many ambitions, and right now most of us want to be a creator digitally, and
Yeah,
most
that's
of us might be thinking about the consequences that is going to happen, or the technical side, or whatever it is. Don't be a perfectionist on anything. Okay, so just go ahead and do it. Whatever you want to do, just go ahead and start. Only once you start to do that, you will understand this is only this much, or this is only that much. It's as simple as that. And I'll share one more story that helped me really, like, in multiple ways, still helping me in my life. This happened in 12th grade. uh, there was this school, like district youth festival that is going. There are students from multiple schools, and all over the district that is happening, and it was happening in my school. So we were organizing that, and I've never seen a guitar or touched a guitar in my life ever. So I just told my friends, hey, I wish I could perform, or like I just take a guitar and learn that. So one of my friend dared me to go on stage and just sing a song. I've never been on stage. I was such a, you know, I don't know what I was. I just went on the stage. Okay, I just started singing and just do some weird things with guitar. I had a lot of, like, many people started booing, just laughing, mocking, and everything. The moment I
which
got
song
out,
was that, sir?
yeah, the moment
Which
I
song
got out
was
of
that?
stage, yeah. Sorry.
Which song was that? Malayalam.
No. Which song was that? You remember the song from Humpty Sharma Ki Dulhania? The Samjawan was there, right? It
Uh,
was that song. Okay, he started singing, and just voice was like cracking and all that. And the moment I got out of stage, people were just mocking me around. But after around 6, 7, 8 years, now it's a beautiful memory for me to laugh at myself, for my friends to talk about. And that one incident have given me a lot of confidence, thinking, okay, this is the maximum that is going to happen. People just forgot and they went on with life. People are like working, taking care of families and everything. And I'm here doing different things. So just don't limit yourself thinking what others will think of you. Nothing is going to happen. Just take a step and you will see how beautiful things it is. It is not as bad as you think it is going to happen. There will be people unexpectedly over there to help you out.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir. And I think you answer like explain it like we shouldn't worry about what can go wrong. Instead, we can focus on something what can go right instead.
Yeah.
And so moving forward, so as we are coming to the end of the session, so we have a rapid fire round plan for you, sir, in which we'll be asking you some questions and you will be responding in whatever come first in your mind, in a word or in a line or two.
Okay.
So for the very first question we have, like, what is the craziest thing that you did as a teenager or as a kid or as an adult and you don't regret it?
Same thing. Just I shared. It's a crazy thing that I've done. One of that. Apart from that, I would say I like not as a teenager. After my in college, I've never attended a class after third semester. Like mostly when everyone was attending classes, I was outside the class. When everyone was home, I was in the class because of attendance. I think most of us are might be struggling over here for the same thing, attendance. So that is one thing. And in college, it was every time, whatever, like it's not the craziest thing, but whenever you get like I get an opportunity to sneak out, that is what I've done. And for that there were like many times that went bad, but I never felt regretted for that, because the best moments in college happened to be because of those things, sneaking out.
Okay, if you don't regret what you have done, so I think there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
So moving to our next question is like, what are your top three favorite movies of all time? Like you can watch them on loop.
Okay. There is Ye Jawan Ye Diwan is there. Wake Up Sid is there. Zindagi Na Milagi Dobara is there. Jaane Tu Ye Jaane Na is there. Forrest Gump is there. Pursuit of Happiness is there. There are a lot of movies. I'm not a big movie person, but I am someone who repeatedly watches the same movie again and again. So yeah, these are some good ones. And yeah.
Okay, sir. I just want to ask some personal question. Nickname your parents or friends used to call you, if it's okay.
Okay. My parents call me Ichu, uh, or like Rizwa they call, and friends call me with a different name. It's called Mokan. Mokan means like someone with a big nose.
Okay, okay, no.
Yeah.
Okay. And so one more question: if you can go back, travel back time, what period you will choose? What period
I
you
would
gonna go back?
I would go back to my 12th grade. Actually, that was the time when you are a teenager and you're about to get into like after 18, or you about to be 18 plus, right? So there is like this huge mental shift that happens. Hey, I'm going to be an adult now, I'm going to be a man now. And that was a fun time to be lot of crazy things, weird things have been done. I just want to be a child. And moreover, as I'm growing up, right now I'm trying to be more kiddish. Like I want to be a baby again. Like I want to just enjoy every experiences as pure as how it should be, instead of just conditioning things. I just want to be that. So I'll just go back to my days in 11th and 12th.
Okay, guys, you have anything to ask to sir? Anything, any questions? It doesn't matter. Anything, please ask something to sir. He's with us.
Okay, you can
Sir,
unmute
how
yourself.
yes,
Yeah.
sir,
Okay,
how
come.
in like
just thinking that our age is going to end.
I guess there is some network issues. Again, you can type your question in the chat box.
It's going to be better. Please type it in the chat box. Okay.
Okay, so I think we already have one question from Komal. He's asking how should a person actually deal with setbacks?
Okay. Okay, there are different approaches again, because it's again very subjective. The first thing is, I think for common to everyone is, we are always someone who's told, or we are told to believe that find the good in whatever that has happened. To believe everything is for good, but don't take it that way. Just whatever is happening in life, just first try to accept that, like just try to experience that and understand that. Just don't run away from things. Whatever the setback is, just experience that first, go through it, understand it, and then once you go through it, only you'll understand, or once you understand that problem completely, only then you will know what exactly that you want to do. And the first step is basically to be aware of that, to accept that, and to understand that problem. Only if you know the problem or whatever that is, then you can go for a solution. And solutions could be very subjective, but don't just whenever a setback happens or whatever happens, like for example, let's say you get a backlog. Okay, what is it's something that you feel, okay, like everything is done, like my college life is done, I'm doomed. But don't think that. It's just one small thing that has happened, and you'll start to think lot in future. But don't think that. What you think of, what is the next thing that you can do about that. The next thing you can do for that is, maybe the next time when the exam comes, you can write and you can clear that, right? But apart from that, if you start thinking of the setbacks or whatever the, the things that happens in life, and connect that with everything that is going to happen in the future, that is going to make you overthink a lot, and that is going to take away every single, the juice out of every single experience that is going to happen in life. First thing, just experience that, and once you understand what is the problem, take the first step that you can do, the simplest step that you can do, and take the next step, and take the next step. Ask for help. There will be obviously people that will be willing there to help you out, and the help you won't be even able to think from whom or from where that you will be receiving. But the rule is that, that what I've experienced is that you will meet people from the randomest corners of the world, in the randomest of the way, at the randomest of the time, and they are going to change your life. And for that, you need to ask for help. And just the thing, just be aware, take the first step, ask for help, and repeat that every time. Just reflect on it and just take it very slow. Just don't overthink. It's easy for me to say, just don't overthink, but take it very slow. Experience the situation, just take it as it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. It's like learn from your setbacks, right, sir? What's your? There's a question from Abdul Khadir Afzal. What's your next big goal? What's your next big goal?
Okay, my next big goal, uh, I'm not someone who sets like a, let's say like 3 or 5 year old goals anymore. I used to be. Uh, Now I've taken away all the resolutions that I want to pursue. I'm just, trying to do whatever is there I want to achieve right now. Maybe in the next this week, or maybe in the next 2 weeks. Right now, my biggest goal is actually to, I've been doing creating content for 1.5 years now. I want to continue doing that in a better way. 1.5 years I've been experimenting things, and now I believe that I want to upgrade that into another level. So that is where the focus is on. I want to create jobs actually. I want to create jobs especially for women all across India. So that is the biggest, if you ask me, the long-term goal I have, that is to create 1 million jobs, especially for women in India, because women empowerment is something we talk about, and I don't think women need empowerment because they're already empowered, but they need opportunities to make things happen. So that is the next big goal that I'm trying to pursue.
Okay, 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 sir.
Okay, I can see that we have a lot of questions in the chat box. So, First, I would like to go for the question. He dropped that how to deal with uncertainty of career. Because once we enter 20, there are always feeling of insecurity as the time is passing quick.
Yeah, that's what, like, I would just take it with my life as an example itself. I studied bio in 11th and 12th. I went on to pursue computer science engineering. Then I dropped that, went on to be a biology tutor. Then I became a trainer. Then I went on to operations. Now I'm in the operations. Now I'm thinking of what is next to experiment. Don't settle. Just experiment with whatever that you want to try out. Like 20s, there'll be a lot of pressure from parents, society, friends, relatives, and all that. Some of I'm seeing friends who are in better places than me, and also I'm seeing friends who are in not places not so better than me as well, right? So you will see different dimensions, but ultimately it's just 20s is the age where you have very less responsibility and a lot more freedom and time and a lot more energy to try things out as well. Just experiment with your life. There is going to be a lot of uncertainty, and uncertainty is good. I always believe in celebrating confusions and celebrating uncertainties because ultimately only if you celebrate the uncertainty you will understand what you exactly need, right? Maybe if you try out something, maybe you'll know, okay, maybe this is not what I want. You can try the next thing, and that is good. If it is that's something that you want to do, you try to do that, and after some time, maybe if you'll think, okay, this is not what I want, you can try changing that. So I would say, whatever your guts tell you, or whatever your mind or your heart says that you want to pursue, it necessarily doesn't mean you need a, right now at this particular era, you don't need to be coming from a core domain. So, for example, let's say you're a mechanical engineer and you want to be a programmer. You have the resources free online to learn and develop and yourself and to be that particular person. So whatever you want to be, you can be that. And right now, you can make money, you can make career at anything that you want, right? You see 3-year-old, 4-year-old children talking about toys making millions of dollars or rupees, and that is one career, being talking about a toy reviewer. 10 years ago, nobody would have thought a toy reviewer is a career, right? So everything and anything has opportunities. Just you need to make noise, you need to cry loud, you need to put it out, you need to come out, showcase your skills, use internet, use your connections, build connections, learn from it, and celebrate more and more confusion, celebrate more and more uncertainties, follow your guts, take the next step, and only then you will understand. Is just just don't go for I'm 25, I need to settle down. No, if you're not happy with what you're doing, just try the next thing. What do you think that will make you happy, or what do you think will be good for you? Just don't settle. Just be someone who's always wandering and celebrating the confusion that is there in mind.
Okay, sir, that's so great. So it's a personal question again from my side. So, who's your favorite supporter, best supporter for you? Your mother, father, or any other else?
Actually, none of them. Not my parents. I would say the biggest supporters. Um, because again, as I said, Indian parents not always are very easy to be convinced for most of the things, and still I'm trying my best to make sure I'm in the right path. Uh, I would say my biggest supporters are some who, like, people who used to be strangers, who came into life very unexpectedly at very random times, and now they are
That's so
like the
great.
closest of friends, or like closest of people in life. So they are, now, as I said, there is this community that you've mentioned. They like that community is now more than 300 plus people, and they are like a family now. And there, I can just open up anything, and then, like, whatever that I want to, and ask help, get people to listen to, or maybe I can say that. So they are being, or like there is some people or group of friends who have not been there in life maybe some months ago, now are like the biggest supporters. But obviously parents, yes, they do support, they do help me with things, but I would say, yeah, like that would be a cliche answer, but I would say this,
Yeah, I
uh,
didn't expect this
it's
this answer.
strangers,
Yeah,
used to be strangers, now being the closest of people.
that's a great answer. I never expected such an answer from you. So, if your life was a song, if your life was a song, what the song would be? Malayalam song, Hindi song, Urdu, English, and
Okay. If my life was a song, what would that be? That's such a good question. But I frankly don't know the answer for that. I would say we have this song, right? हम जो चलने लगे ये रास्ते like मंजिल से बेहतर. That song is there, right? I
yeah,
would
yeah,
say, yeah, that is the thing because I'm, it's the journey that I'm in. I'm always trying to like there are like a lot of different things happening and always trying to learn. There are like different emotions, rainbows, colors, everything is like happening. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes like happy, sad. All of this is that it's a mixed emotion. So I would definitely say it might be that song that suddenly that come to my mind. Maybe some next time you ask me, it could be a different song. But yeah.
okay, okay, that's a great. We have a question. Okay, can you?
All right. So as we are running short for a time, so we this will be the last question which I'll be asking. So the question we have from a student is he says the student who rarely talks or is never interactive who talks very less. So how can he fight depression? Because he never talks to anybody, he never shares anything.
Okay, so depression is a different context entirely. Okay, when we start talking about depression, um, it is until and unless someone opens up or someone clinically go and test that, we can not confirm whether that person is going through depression or not. So that needs expert help or a professional involvement over there. And for that, its first job is maybe if you feel like okay maybe this person or so and so person has suddenly went silent, not involving completely, like suppose let's say he or she was a complete outgoing person, now that completely changed, or you feel some change in the way they behave, even if they were like outgoing, they start to be more outgoing, they start to change, like their routine change. If you're someone very close, you understand okay there is something wrong, maybe you take an effort to understand, maybe ask like if is everything okay and all that, right? So I believe there is this one question that could change any person's life, and that is how are you. And if you're able to ask that question, how are you, genuinely to someone, and you could make that person answer genuinely to you, that would change someone's life. Only thing you can do is if you feel like something is not going well, maybe you can reach out and offer a help in form of listening, only listening. Just don't try to say okay do this do that and all that, just don't try to help people, just go to listen people and understand everything. And if it is something that you feel like if you understood okay this person is not doing well, redirect them to the right references. Okay, we have lot of free resources, toll line numbers and all of that. Maybe you can do something, you can give a call yourself and inform and ask them about this one so particular situation if this person is not willing to be going and getting into whatever the sessions or something is that you can do that. Apart from that, if the person is willing to get help, expert help, redirect them to that people. So that is the thing. But apart from that, for the question you asked, if the person is rarely talk, never interactive, it is very difficult, right? It is very difficult. But if you feel like it's not okay, it's one, you can take an effort to listen, ask questions. Apart from that, you can redirect them to particular. That's the only thing, because apart from that, you can't diagnose someone or get into a conclusion just by saying, it like rarely talks or never interactive. Because some people love their own company. They feel like they like to be, the silent, just person who's like very easy with everything and not be interactive. And that necessarily always doesn't mean they're depressed or something like that as well, right? So this is what, like, there is a general, we might have this general concept about so many things, but it never may always like that be like that. But you can confirm that and you can redirect them to the right resources.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. This was the last question from our side. I will request, sir, if you have, you can feedback and a message to us for the present generation who is so struggling with a lot of problems.
Okay, when you say the present generation, I'm also a part of that generation, so
Yeah,
I'm not going to give an advice. But I would just definitely say, just one thing I want to say, because the thing is, I don't know which year you guys are all in, second year, first year, third year, what like fourth year, whatever it is. But whatever the time you have, uh, just make the most out of it. And whether it is in class, out of the class, just make sure that you're making every single second that counts, because that you will never regret doing things in college, and that will be something that you will cherish forever. Just take it, work on yourself, prioritize yourself, whatever it is. If you are in an environment, or like you are in a place that you need help, reach out for help, change things up. Your environment really matters. And again, work on relationships, learn about relationships, because there are a lot of things that you need to learn about relationships, especially just because some people doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be with them all the time. Don't believe in friends forever. I'm just a toxic person this side over here, but just don't believe in friends forever. Just whatever feels right for you, just do it. uh, Work on relationships, connections, and just invest on improving yourself. Be the person who you want, who you wish that you be, and just get into that closer every single day. Just that's it. Thank you so much for having me. It was such a great interaction, such great questions. I really loved it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So now I would request that for the audience that guys, if you have any message, any feedback, you can drop it in the chat box, as well as we'll be sharing you a link of feedback form. And I can see a lot of people in the chat box saying that was really great session, and I think everyone enjoyed it. So now I would like to hand over to Manan Bhaiya. Over to you.
Hi, sir. Hi, Rizwan, sir. It's been an amazing session. This is Malan Agarwal. I'm elated to have you. And since the time our lead student started
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so all right, as we have come to the end of the session, so I would like to say thank you to everyone for being such a wonderful audience throughout the session, and thanks to Rizwan sir as well for taking your time in the busy schedule and being the guest speaker at our session. Your presence helped us magnify our cause and the session in the best possible way. I would also like to thank all the UNYC members who worked really hard to make this event successful. And over to you, Sahil.
Yeah, so once again, thank you for being with us in this evening. It was a great pleasure, and kindly feel free to share your feedback with us. And for more information, go with our social media handles. It will be dropped in the chat box. And again, thank you so much, Mr. Rizwan. Thank you so much for here with us. And this was Natalia and Mohammed Shahil signing off. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a great day.
Okay, so the link of our all social media handles are dropped in the chat box. Guys, if you want any other information regarding the upcoming events, you can give a follow at our Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter profiles.